Put your hands together for Red Shaydez.
I don't wanna be here no more, wanna go. And it's 10 past 5, got my bags at the door.
I came up with the name Red Shades when I was a little girl. My aunt was babysitting me, and I was being good that day, so she said, I'm going to take you to the store. You can pick something out from there. And I looked in the booth, and they had these red glasses there. And out of everything, the jewelry, all this type of stuff, the glasses stood out to me. I picked them up, and I had like a vast imagination. I'm an only child. And I took them home, and I said, okay, this is the newest member of the rap group, because I used to do fake mixtapes on karaoke machines. I said, okay, the name is Red Shade, so my nickname is Shay, and I just incorporated it into shades, and red's my favorite color. And later on, it grew a deeper meaning, so it represents the fire and passion that I put into everything that I do. And I tell a lot of introspective stories in my music, so shades represents the vision and my view and perspective on life, whether that's triumphs or, mishaps, adversity, stuff like that. All right, guys, we're in my sanctuary. This is the Red Shaydez aura room where the magic happens. We can't see all that right now, but what we are going to take a look at is my shades collection. It's a growing collection. These are like my superhero shades because they flip up, and they do this. I can wear them any kind of way I want. I'll put some on for you too. Like when I get into my character, sometimes when I'm talking to fans, I'll have it up like this, and when it's showtime, I put them on just like that. These are like all red. Some of them are like red frames, and then some of them, they all do a bunch of things, but they're red. They're diamond encrusted red shades. I love these. All right, these are some things on my fridge that I hold dearly to me. Some of these were drawn by like my adopted nieces and nephews. This is my godson. He's gonna be 4 soon. He was just over here. We babysit him a lot. Love him to death. And this is my beautiful girlfriend, Stephanie, who we started out as college roomies, and now I made an honest woman out of her. She's very supportive. And then this is my ongoing transitional list. I have 2 sides. The A side is tangible side, and B is like some things that like I wish to accomplish that I can do like physically. So the A side has like healing crystals, the altar, sage, fireproof bowl, Palo Santo, candles, so on and so forth. B side is exercise, meditation, yoga, nourishing food, create. I would describe my music genre and sound as versatility in a nutshell, because at any given moment, like, I could make a song about anything. The beat dictates what I write about. I don't really come into a project saying, okay, I want to write a song about social issues or social justice. If I hear the beat and it makes me want to rap about something ratchet, then I'm gonna rap about something ratchet. If I hear a beat, sort of like Little Sabrina, where it's piano driven, then I'm gonna more than likely rap about like a story. First and foremost, my dad introduced me to hip hop. He used to be a rapper back in the day, in the mid to late 90s, and I was there for his pursuit of music. And then my mom had this like wide variety of music. She had like a whole music stand full of reggae, dancehall, 80s music, 70s music, and so on and so forth. And so music was all I heard and listened to growing up, and I heard like a plethora of genres. So I think that's why I took a liking to them. And when I first started making music, I was doing like this very gangster, grimy rap, emulating my father. But then as I started like experiencing life for myself, I realized I wanted to express myself in a bunch of different ways. And so be it, a hip rock song, or reggae influenced, I do it. Music means to me it's a form of expression. It's how I convey positive messages to listeners and new people that stumble upon me. And I'm in music because I want to impact the world. A lot of people, they want to be famous, they want to achieve great success, which is great. We would all love that. But for me, I want to influence, motivate, and impact people, and my calling, it just so happened to be music. And so I've been told that when I speak, people listen, so might as well make some catchy music, and I throw my messages, I make them underlying, so people don't know, oh, she's teaching us a lesson. I sort of throw it in under like popping beats.
They told me not to speak my mind, but me, I like to bend the rules. Me, I'm often sexualized, afraid to wear the clothing lines that compliment and show my size, and often bring a load of guys. Drooling hard and so their eyes, they follow me, they open wide. First thought that comes to mind is disappear or go and hide. Why? I asked them, is that all I am to you? Every goal I crush is not enough. You think a man would do a better job? Swipe credit cards, flights, get involved. That's how women do, at least to you. See, we don't get applause for nurturing. Fields we're working in, they feel our worth to men is non-existent. Hardly honor women with my skin is sickening. See, we're so different. At times it makes me feel like I'm too much. Maybe it's my hips, the way they shift and complement my strut. Maybe it's my confidence, I switch my do from month to month. When I raise my voice, they call it rude. For you, they call it blunt. They say my hair ain't right, my appearance might offend, put fear in whites. They don't care, my life's a struggle every day. I clear, I wipe the tears I shed. But my mama always saves me. She told me, go for what I want, but just make sure I don't get angry. A black woman mad is seen as foul, cruel, and crazy. And as a way to tame me, they pay me low and make me after certain ways we don't identify and try to rectify, like I'm a project that needs to be fixed. Like I'm just some machine with buttons you think you could click. Bitch, I'm a whole human being and you see I exist. Maybe you'll recognize me more when I throw up the fist. But I realize I don't need the man or the world's approval. I'll just continue doing me. Well, you know, the usual. But the hate will still go on and some issues may offend you. But yes, I'm staying strong and I pray that it gets better. If I didn't teach y'all nothing here, is one thing to remember. That yes, I am a woman, but I am not my gender. It's Red Shaydez, bitch.
Yes, my experience as a woman of color, as a black woman in the industry, you know, we're hit with like a double and triple whammy. You're black and you do hip hop. They associate that with fighting. It won't sell tickets, which has proven to all be false. So sometimes I think, you know, systemically or maybe, you know, systematically, they might have some preconceived notions about us because of those attributes and stuff. But they're learning really fast that hip hop has taken over. It has been for a while now, both mainstream and locally. And I can say that directly, I haven't experienced anything, you know, negative. But I do see how hard it is to like book space. Things are getting better now, but just speaking, you know, overall. Also, I noticed that there's a difference. Like fans of hip hop and fans of other genres, this pre-sale ticket thing, a lot of our fans like to come the day of and buy at the door. So venues have this situation where they do this ticket split with the bar and everybody at the and they don't pay the artist, so you got to split with like 10 other people, and they're big on these pre-ticket sales, and that's not something that we're used to. If we throw a show, you can buy tickets beforehand, but usually 9 times out of 10, 60% of the people are going to show up at the door and buy the tickets then. Also, sound is another thing that I want to bring up. I just noticed that a lot of sound checks, you know, they're not used to how we like our sound. We like it to bang. We like it loud. So if I go to a show and I tell you I want my music, oh, it's going to clip the speakers. Well, let it clip because I need the bass. I don't like to perform over like low music. Like it's about being a rapper, it's the energy, it's the ambiance, it's everything in the room. Like we're not rock stars, you know what I'm saying? We're hip hop stars, and so it's very different. We don't have, sometimes I perform with a live band, but sometimes I don't. So if I'm performing with my DJ, shout out to DJ Troy Frost, we like the speakers banging loud and heavy. So I think it's just a lack of understanding the genre and not really knowing how we operate and do things. But I do commend the institutions and organizations that are taking time, like the BCA, to cater to us and just figure out it's no different from any other genre. We're just different. That's all.
Y'all ready for me? Yo, check it. They be like, Shaydez, where you been at? Yo, it was just a month, I'ma get back. But when your story posts, where your fits at? Yo, give me a couple days, you gon' get that. Cause they know when I rap, make a big flash, use the shit fast, and they pause, make a chick back, give a whiplash. Boss, get the sit back, you assist that. Boss with a pin pad. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. Tell me, little baby, you know that I got it. I can have a bunch of spitters, watch your whole team know. This is for the ones who's ambitious and trying to get that. I don't want the fame in them pictures, I want the impact. Say things that matter, mechanics and different patterns, as well as some other factors. Do this here just for practice. It's nothing for me, go to my folks. They the ones who would know when I was in the mirror with the remote. Was acting like Tim and Missy and Nazalia and Diddy and Little Kim, who convinced me women can get it busy. It's about time I'm earning my keep. We'll be rehearsing for weeks, back to fruition. Didn't want the real thing, I want the real thing, and baby, you listen. I don't know what's styling to me, either pursuing your energy, mentally, sexually. Get up on instant flexually. Your mind is really impressing me, and you respecting me. Shorty think she that connect with me. Look at my pedigree, never ahead of me. Handle this steadily, back to the regular scheduling. But you been lost in my aura all day. East Coast gon' catch a vibe with me. Why? Cause they live with me. West Coast gon' catch a vibe with me. Why? Cause they live with me. Midwest gon' catch a vibe with me. Why? Cause they live with me. And Dirty South gon' catch a vibe with me. Why y'all? Where y'all at? Cause they live with me. I got some days when I'm hustling. Today I don't wanna do nothing. On Monday I'm gonna be something. But right now I can't even function. I got some days when I'm hustling. And today I don't wanna do nothing.
Yeah, my music has helped me grow a lot because I tend to not write new material unless I've experienced new life events. Oftentimes I get writer's block and I don't want to force something. And I listen to a lot of my old music a lot, not only because I perform it in shows still to this day, but because I like to hear that specific growth. So like things that I may have not been comfortable to talk about, let's say when I was 18, I'm in a better space and I'm more content. I rap about a lot of social justice issues when I first started. I just felt like I don't know, I had a lot of anger when I first started like making my projects. And as I grew older and just adopted new ways of learning certain things and unlearning a lot of things that I was taught, now I talk about a variety of things. I just feel like my subject matter has broadened. I feel like music has helped me grow because it represents and mirrors my life experiences. Just to be unapologetically yourself, to be flawed and be okay with that, to be ever changing, ever growing, to not know certain things, to, just to, I feel like in society we have a lot of pressures to be people that we're not. Success, the American dream, that doesn't look the same for everybody, and I think it's okay. If you want to be married young, that's great. If you want to never get married, that's great too. If you don't want to be a doctor and a lawyer, that should be accepted. Arts is all around the community, no matter where you go. Art is universal. And I feel like artists from any discipline, we don't get enough respect. And when you get a degree in liberal arts or communications, is sort of frowned upon, when we sort of are the staples that keep all communities together, whether it's murals, pamphlets, everything, poets, just anything you name it. Art is alive and breathing and it'll never go anywhere. So I feel that it's very important to express that and let people know. Being an artist in Boston is interesting because I'm pretty sure if you ask any artist, you're gonna get like a million different answers. All of our journeys and experiences are different, so I can only speak for myself. Being that I had the social anxiety, I was what you would call a bedroom artist. I was very scared to put myself out there. A lot of times, no matter how much the industry changes, you have to, get out and put your foot on the pavement and sort of show yourself, show the people who you are. I always say you think of being an entrepreneur, what we call ourselves, as a grassroots campaign. It's almost like running for presidency, because you have to make sure you're going door to door, in our case show to show, putting a face behind the name, and showing your supporters your personality and stuff like that. Once I stopped flying for work, I came here and I had a new game plan. I went to the drawing board and I mapped, for the most part, everything out. And I said, I'm not even gonna project like my artistry on people. I just want to see what the scene is like. So I started going to a lot of shows around like 2015, and I saw that there was a sense of community here. And so I made it a point to figure out how to become a part of it and who I had to know. A lot of times people want to know the artists and the people that are like buzzing at that moment. But I guess because I have a film background, I always want to know the people behind the scenes, because in my opinion, that's the people who really get shit popping. So my story is pretty unique because it took me a long time to gain buzz in Boston. But once I combated my social anxiety and started going out more, showing my face, not even performing, just going to mental health events, just being seen in the community, it didn't take long for my name to start spreading and traveling. I'd say once Boston finally caught on and knew who I was, I received so much support here. I can't complain at all. I feel like oftentimes artists become a little bit ungrateful and entitled. I speak about artist entitlement a lot. They feel like they're owed a lot of things that they didn't necessarily work for yet and they don't deserve. Everybody does art. So what makes you different? Why should people support you? I don't think you're entitled to support right out the gate. And I feel like you have to have work ethic and you have to work hard at working smart. Because if you work hard in vain, you can do that until you're blue in the face. It's not going to go anywhere. You have to constantly learn the changing industry, and you have to make sure that you're hitting all your rounds, making all your rounds, so that people know who you are. If you don't finish the grassroots campaign, then I don't think you'll see much success, and that's anywhere. More artists have to do more homework, do more research, and pay their dues. One model that I like to live by and tell my counterparts is delayed gratification. That's also a common theme with my upcoming album. It took a long time for me to get to where I'm at and where I'm still trying to go. So I would say if this is something you're truly and honestly passionate about, you'll do whatever you have to do or whatever it takes to get to that point. And it does get frustrating at times and it makes you want to quit. I wanted to quit so many times. But if it's something that you feel that you live and breathe, just have faith, manifest, and make sure that you're doing your part in order to get to where you're trying to go, instead of pointing fingers and blaming everybody else, and just, be adaptable. It's a big sense of community and support here. If you're not in the know, you might have different views and perspective on the community. You might not even know it exists, because I still feel like, the J. Cole song where he says he's the middle child, because I'm in it and I'm a part of this new wave that is happening in Boston, but I also keep my ear to the streets, the online streets, and I see what people are writing about, what they're saying, and I know those are the ones that are not at events. But if you're in it and you're in this bubbling scene that we have, then you see it's just like it's amazing to be a part of right now.
I like to start by myself, I don't wait for them. You missing chances, I'm taking them. You shooting shots, but I'm making them. Seeing that you made a spot, I'm erasing them. When they be naming the best, they don't mention you. Each thing I said was intentional.